Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Under the Radar. We're your hosts, Casey and Aiden, and we are reviewing the new Marvel movie Thunderbolts today. We
Yep.
both just saw it. Neither of us know the other's thoughts or opinions on it. So, what do you want to start with a rating? Or
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah, super excited to see what you thought.
mm-hmm.
This movie has been getting a lot of high praise.
It
I think it
has.
is one of only 6 Marvel movies right now with a 90% or higher. So, people are really liking the Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
So yeah, with that being said, should we just give a score?
sure. You want to count us down?
All right, Thunderbolts score out of 10. 3, 2, 1,
Seven,
7.
7.5.
Yeah. I thought it was I.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get the hype. It's definitely not like top 10 Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Not the best movie since
So
post Endgame or whatever it's been saying.
yeah. Yeah. And so just to preface, this first part of the video is going to be non-spoiler, so if you haven't seen the movie, do feel free to listen to us talk about it for a moment. Um the biggest thing for me in this movie
Mm-hmm.
is I don't think there's anything inherently super bad.
Yeah,
There was just nothing that was wowing me.
yeah. I feel like because from like I don't know, it was a very all right movie, good even, but nothing like crazy out of this world like people were hyping it up to be.
Yeah. I wasn't like my mind wasn't being blown while I was watching it. I
Yeah,
wasn't
that's what
sitting
my
there
thought
like
was.
it was like the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Um I guess that's like my main negative, I guess, just cuz I do have a good amount of positives for this
Yeah.
movie.
Um.
So I guess just to get our negatives out of the way, just yeah.
Yeah. Also, it didn't really feel to like be a whole group movie as much of it was like a Yelena movie and friends.
Yeah,
There's
definitely Elena's like the main character of this movie, and
yeah,
she is the one that goes through the most kind of change.
which I don't
Um,
mind per se, but there's like certain scenes where I feel like you could have done stuff with more characters and they just opted out. Maybe because of
yeah,
runtime or something, but yeah.
yeah.
Um the main like I don't know if it's a spoiler like is the theme of the movie a spoiler? Like
I wouldn't say so. I think the theme of it is pretty obvious from the trailers:
the theme is I don't know, depression, I guess. Like
depression and trauma and
yeah, which
friendship.
yeah, I mean, yeah. uh I will say all the acting performances were very good.
And it was very nice to see those characters back on screen. Like it
Yeah,
was nice to see Red Guardian. It was nice to see U.S. Agent.
I
It
love
was.
John Walker. He was probably
I think he's so
going
cool.
into the
I
movie,
think
he was the
he's
thing I was most hyped for and they did not disappoint. He was
yeah,
so cool.
yeah, yeah.
The
He
action
is
scenes in
cool
the
as
movie were
shit.
really cool. Uh
Mm-hmm. They
uh
would have multiple scenes where it was just like Yelena going crazy and just
yeah.
it looked so good. Like the first fight scene with the
Uh-huh.
shadows and like looked great.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh thus
the movie is very like stylized.
yeah.
Like it's a very interestingly shot MCU movie.
Mhm.
Both in just like cinematography and just how the camera is filming and moving and
Yeah.
um which I thought was all good.
Mhm.
Like I would say that's all positive. The movie looks really good. The movie's very unique.
Yeah.
Um
I again, I think all the characters had chemistry, very good chemistry. Like,
mhm.
uh, it was always funny just listening to them like have to deal with Red Guardian, who before
Yeah.
this movie, and even like his jokes in this movie and Black Widow are very hit or miss. David Harbour is a
Yeah.
very as Red Guardian, his jokes are very hit or miss. This movie,
Mhm.
the hit ratio was a lot higher than it was in Black Widow, in my personal
He was
opinion.
very funny in this movie.
Yeah, in Black Widow, I kind of got annoyed with him, but in this movie, he was
Yeah.
a lot like I was able to deal with him more, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, Uh,
Yeah, and I guess like all the other characters are a lot more serious in this movie. So his humor did kind of help like lighten situations
yeah,
rather than like take away. Um
I think the actor that
the
played
move
Sentry was
yes.
very good. Like he
Yeah,
did a really
he
good
is
job.
very good. Mhm. I thought he was great. I thought this movie took a lot of risks and they paid off for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I appreciated something new from uh, Marvel. And yeah, I thought it was fun and it was good.
It
Um,
felt new, but so because it wasn't multiverse stuff, so I guess like that's mainly everyone's like positive, but like
yeah,
it wasn't very like grounded either. I guess it was kind of
yeah,
like I feel like the threat was kind of a
uh,
world threat. Like I wouldn't really.
yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I think just mainly where this movie is strongest is in the moments between just characters and talking and interacting. And there are some really great fight scenes, and I think the
Mm-hmm.
movie delivers for the most part. Um, but it's just kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The the actual like character group of the Thunderbolts. I guess the way that like because the only one that kind of just randomly is involved with the Valentina lady is Ghost. Because last time we saw her and um Lawrence Fishburne's character in Man and the Wasp kind of just went like their own way. Like they kind of just like let's
Mm-hmm.
get out of here, and then we just never saw of her. And then
Mm-hmm.
now she works.
And it doesn't really explain
Yeah, she's
either,
just
like
like
what she's been up to.
yeah. They kind of just act like you're supposed to have known. Um,
Yeah.
which I guess like it's like for Marvel instead of Amanda Waller, they go to Valentina like to do
Yeah.
stuff. She's like the Black Ops,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um,
Leader.
yeah. Who
Yeah.
also what's her name? It's Dre Lufit or something. I can't think of the actress's name.
Oh, for
Valentina.
Valentina.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, she's great.
she was
I really
amazing.
like
She's
her
just
character a lot.
yeah. I love how
She's
she's just
so
like
fun to
she's
watch.
so funny. She's just like so calm and collective the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like everything going wrong for her and she just
Mm-hmm.
knows exactly what to do all the time. She's honestly just like Batman but can't fight.
Yeah.
Um
I feel like the only person that was kind of like just sort of didn't feel like he belonged was Bucky, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
1,000%.
Like he's the
Bucky
one
is
that
definitely the most like
like
out of touch
yeah,
or
like everyone else it made sense why they're there, what doing the thing or whatever. And then Bucky was just like there.
yeah. And then he's just kind of like, "Welp, I'll help you."
Yeah. And then they become a team.
Yeah. Um Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting how they used his character because they're like setting up this whole like diplomat thing with him, but they're not like really doing anything with it. So it's just like he's like kind of a part of the government and then
Well,
helps them.
there's a scene I want to talk about, but we can do that when we get into spoilers about
Yeah.
that. He's kind of yeah, I don't know what his like because he's kind of there
Role
because
is.
I mean, okay, by now, spoiler for Captain America: Brave New World, but he shows up there and
Uh-huh.
he says how he's running for Congress or
Yeah.
whatever. So this movie takes place after that. Um,
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
timeline of this movie was kind of weird.
Yeah, because
I don't know exactly where it's at.
they mentioned
Yeah, because it's
stuff
like
from Brave New
it
World.
seems like it's yeah, right after Brave New World, but it's also like only a year after Black Widow died, I think.
I don't even know that. That's it was kind of weird when they talked about that. I don't know
Yeah, because they kind of briefly mention it,
the
but
time placement of this movie is kind of weird.
yeah.
Um, I think that
I will say though, Yeah, sorry, just real
Go
quick while
ahead.
we're talking about time, I do appreciate that this movie is one of the first movies in a while, and I guess Brave New World in a way, but it felt very lived in. It felt like it was inside of the MCU, which I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciated. Like they took the time to, they didn't throw everything in your face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like um this isn't really a spoiler, but there's just a point in the movie where they mention what John Walker did,
Yeah.
and they don't give you a full explanation of you were chasing this person and working on this mission. Like they just brief sum it up, and it's just very nice when they have moments like that every once in a while that not only catches people up who didn't see the shows, but also just makes the world feel alive and that there's consequences to
Mm-hmm.
things that happen. And it's not just like one and done and doesn't exist. So I did appreciate that this movie, it feels like it's in the
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I also like how like they know of each other because like John Walker's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, Ghost to the ex Shield assassin, whatever, gone rogue, wanted
Mm-hmm.
in 15 countries or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
then Yelena, the Red Room Black Widow assassin. So then and
Yeah.
then they make the comment about the dime store Captain America.
Yeah. And how he's just kind of like a
Yeah, and he's
wannabe.
like, well, how have you know I was Captain America?
um, I don't know if there's really much more I have to say, like non-spoilery.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
It's kind of hard to talk about it non-spoilery because I don't
yeah.
know mainly because I don't know how to gauge what's spoiler-ish or not. So I'd rather be safe than
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I think we're gonna go ahead and start getting into spoilers. So if you want to see our full thoughts and us really dive deep into it, keep watching. I would recommend go into this with no spoilers, though,
Mm-hmm.
and experience the movie and go have a good time with it. Go support it, and then come back and support us and watch our
Yeah.
spoiler version of the video.
Don't forget that last part.
So
Please come back. Please come back.
so, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into spoilers
All
starting
right.
right now. Okay.
Um,
Um,
I the
should we just start at the beginning?
yeah.
How do we want to do
Okay,
this?
we can start. Okay, before we do, there's like a few points that I want to mention.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't get any of the Void Nightmare scenes with Bucky is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, they just kind of have the joke where he's like, "Oh,
Oh yeah,
I have a
yeah,
perfect
perfect
past. I
pass. So
saw nothing."
this place was fine for me. Like it would have been so cool to
Yeah,
see what it was. Like could have been his first mission as the Winter Soldier. It could have been like whatever. Could have seen
when
the
he
Howard
killed
Stark
Stark's
death.
parents or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
or just any of them, especially Ghost. Like we knew nothing about we like know nothing about Ghost in this movie, and it's kind of like
I mean, that whole sequence is like one of the biggest reasons why I'm like, this movie's fine. Like, I wasn't sitting there like, oh my god, they're reliving
yeah,
their trauma and going room to room. It's interesting. It's cool and it looks cool and it's shot well. Um, it just like wasn't like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
yeah.
And
We could have actually
this
gotten a
movie
serious moment with
ends.
like Red Guardian having like seeing his trauma,
Yeah, and
maybe seeing the scene in the beginning of Black Widow where he gives up Natasha and Yelena, maybe seeing
or not,
anything of him
like
as Red Guardian. Like
they set it up perfectly with him talking about in the beginning of the movie how like he misses the fame and
yeah,
the notoriety and the people thinking he's a god. So like seeing a moment in the nightmare sequence where you see him stripped of all that
mm-hmm.
would
Yeah,
be
like
very cool and make it when they get to the end of the movie that moment would hit a lot more because
yeah,
you know what that means to him.
mm-hmm.
Um because I get why Yelena wants to be
Yeah.
in the spotlight. I guess really the only person I don't understand is Ghost.
I don't think
Like she
Ghost
just kind of
wanted to
like
be.
goes with
I
it.
think she just
She doesn't
it
really give a
happened.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of fine and this movie ends exactly how you think it's going to end with you don't have to be
the power of
bad,
friendship.
Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to hug you. Violence isn't the answer,
yeah.
Bob.
Which I mean,
And
okay.
it's like,
I talked about it with my friend that I went to go see it with. That like because this movie's like what we said, the main theme is like depression and like inner sadness and like running away from your problems type. Um, that like unless you've like I guess been through that, it's not gonna hit as hard. At least in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Like it was still like very good. Don't get me wrong, but me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I've never been through something like that, so it kind of was just like, oh, that's interesting, but it's not like, oh, that got me in my feels. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel the same. I just I don't know. It feels like so many movies lately have been like power of friendship, like you don't have to be bad, and
yeah,
that's how the movie ends. And it's like this is a strong dude. Century is strong as shit in this
yeah.
movie. He literally like takes over all of New York like 5 minutes,
That
10 minutes.
I will
Like
say, I was so glad that they kept the void as a shadow thing, and you all
yeah,
you just saw was the eyes, and you just see him put his hand out, and then shadow, shadow.
looks
I
so
was like,
fucking good.
oh,
Dude, that scene when they get the girl,
oh, the little girl, and then just
dude, so for context so people know what we're talking about, they the sentry is out, the void is out, and he is going crazy. He is destroying shit. They are saving all these people, and this little girl's about to get crushed, and Red Guardian goes over, saves her, and is like, "You're gonna be okay." And he just starts
and she
wiping
just
people,
yeah.
just shadows this little
Hmm.
girl. And at first, I was like, "Oh my god, they just fucking killed that girl." And
Yeah.
then that moment is immediately ruined by Florence Pugh going into there, and me being like, "Oh,
Okay, so
they're
yeah, so they're
they're gonna
not
be
dead.
fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And we get the sequence, and um, it helps you understand Sentry's character and Bob's character a lot. I just
I don't know what
it
he
didn't hit me. It
has.
wasn't really hitting me.
I don't know what he has because the way he explains it, it sounds like he's bipolar, but then it also, but then like the void's its own like personality. So is it?
It's like I took it more as like split
That's what
personality.
I thought. But the way he talks about, it, he's like, oh, there's days that I have really good highs, and then like really low lows. And like my
Yeah, I
first thought
just
was
took it
like,
as like a trauma
yeah, my
induced split
first thought was like
personality.
how Ian explains bipolar and like Shameless.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
kind of like
You
confused
have
on
high
which,
highs and low
yeah,
lows.
one
Yeah.
height he had. Um, I don't know. There's like a scene between Yelena and Red Guardian, like when after they all like go their separate ways, and then she starts like saying how you didn't talk to me for a year or whatever. I don't know if it's
Uh-huh.
the accent or whatever. I could not take that scene serious. I was kind of just like, okay,
Not
what?
gonna lie, I took a piss during that scene. I was like, I saw like the badass moment of Sentry. I was like, okay, they're gonna have a heartwarming moment where they
Yeah.
want to get back together. I'm gonna take a piss during this part.
um. So yeah. So we can do a play by play of what happened throughout the movie.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and lead us in.
So it starts with like Yelena just sort of working for Valentina, and she just invades some lab, and it's pretty cool. Like the way she like just walks off the building, opens a parachute, just takes everyone out, and she's like so lackadaisical about it because she's like a Black Widow,
Yeah,
so obviously. Um,
yeah.
then we see that Valentina's being impeached because she's the head of the CIA, and obviously she's done some uh
Shady
bad
shit.
stuff. Yeah, so they're like impeaching her, and but they have no proof because she's hiding all the evidence. But then like her last piece of evidence is the different Black Ops superhuman people that she has, which was Yelena, John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster, who are all.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, before we get any further, there is a really cool scene at the or it's just kind of in the background, but you see where they were testing Sentry
Oh
and you
yeah,
see the shadows on the wall in
yeah,
the lab, and
yeah,
it's kind of like it's like what the fuck is
yeah. What's
that?
not going on in
Um
there? Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool
Mm-hmm.
addition. But yeah, so they are the last loose ends for her.
I like how
And
she,
so
yeah, she gives like the mission that like, oh, Yelena, go kill Ghost. Ghost, go kill Taskmaster. Taskmaster, go kill John Walker. John Walker, go kill Yelena.
yeah. Yeah, so before Yelena accepts this mission though, she sees Red Guardian, and he just kind of is like, "Hey, I want to be back in the field. Give me Valentina's number, you know?" And she's like, "No, no." And then leaves, takes the mission, and yeah, so the mission is at this base, and that's just random military base, and She gets there to get rid of the evidence, and yeah, John Walker shows up trying to kill Yelena.
It's so cool the
And
way he's just walking,
it
shooting, and then he
is,
does like the John Wick flick. He does like you never see him
yeah,
reload, but he
yeah.
just always has more bullets in his gun, and he keeps doing this, and then just goes back to shooting.
Dude, when he fucking grabs her and just throws her, I
Oh,
was
it
like,
was so.
ah, what a cool
Well,
way
I
to
thought he was
show
gonna
his
be like a
strength.
brawler, and he starts like doing like flexible ass kicks. Like he starts like actually like fighting.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was just gonna go in swinging, but it was actually
Yeah,
cool.
no, he was great. And then Ghost shows up to kill John Walker,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind of doing her thing. And then Taskmaster is sent there to kill
No,
Ghost.
Taskmaster is sent to kill John Walker. Ghost is sent to kill Taskmaster.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. And yeah, so they're just fighting. You get a great little fight sequence, and fucking Ghost just blows
that was
Taskmaster's
crazy. I knew.
brains
Okay,
out.
so in the trailer they make it very obvious Taskmaster dies, and I knew it was gonna be in that scene because that's the only scene you see of Taskmaster in the trailer.
Yeah.
I just didn't think like that scene was gonna happen so soon, and that she was gonna die within 5 minutes of that scene.
Oh yeah, no, she gets shot in the
Like
face
she
and
just Ghost just
that's it.
appears out of nowhere, shoots her, and then yeah. Which it was
Yeah.
funny when Taskmaster takes off her mask and talks to Yelena for like a second. I go to my friend, I go, she can talk. Like I didn't even know.
Yeah, I know. She like took her yeah.
And
Uh
she's like, I'm not here for you. I was
they
like,
did
what?
they did make Taskmaster pretty fucking cool though before they killed her. It was like she was throwing some hands and it was pretty cool to see.
She's getting jumped.
Um
Fucking John Walker
yeah.
smacks her, and then Ghost just runs through John Walker and starts beating her up.
Yeah. But in the scuffle, they end up hitting some button
Yeah.
and out pops Bob.
Yep. Bob. Nobody
Yep.
know. He doesn't know why he's there. Nobody knows why he's there. Uh, but then Valentina, she's at like some party or gala thing or whatever, where they have like memorabilia from like the attack of New York, the Battle of New
New
York.
York, yeah.
Um, also, so what the like this is what I want to mention before with Bucky because he's also been like a little bit like sprinkled in throughout the scenes. Like he was there watching from the background of her impeachment. They talk about Bucky like if he's no longer a congressman or whatever he was, because
I don't know what the
the
fuck he
assistant
is.
goes, the assistant's like, oh, freshman congressman who hasn't even been able to pass a bill, and then when they're back in like the tower, she Valentina's literally like saying like, oh, uh Congressman Barnes, oh, I didn't think your political term was gonna last long, but half a term, wow. So is he no
Yeah,
longer
yeah. I don't know
like they don't
what he
go into
is.
detail at all, and he kind of just shows
I
up
don't
and starts like
I
being the
don't
Winter
even know
Soldier.
what yeah, I don't know what role in the government he's playing or what his job is or what he's in charge of. He just
Mm-hmm.
kind of is in
Yeah, well, he
the
just shows
government.
up and starts like just being the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like he just shows up and like literally has the same gear from like Captain America Winter Soldier. Um,
Yeah.
he was just aura farming. Let's call it like it was. Bro just like showed up just to be like, let me do the coolest shit ever.
He looks fucking sick.
Mm-hmm. And then
Um but yeah, so they find out it's a trap when they're in their little base fighting,
mm-hmm.
and it is an inferno so that she can burn all the evidence. They end up getting out. They have a cool little teamwork scene.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I feel like John Walker wants to believe that he's so valuable, especially to like Valentina, that like he doesn't
Yeah.
believe it at first. He's like, no, she just sent me here to capture you both. So tie yourselves up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
then
very like
there's
cocky.
like an
Yeah.
alarm going off, and he's like, we don't know what that means. That could be my my backup showing up to arrest you
Yeah, my
people.
ride.
He just doesn't want to accept it, and then it's like, don't you feel it getting hot in here? Almost like there's an incinerator. And he goes, we're in an incinerator.
Dude, and he had that cool scene too. He hit the on your left on
Yeah, he
fucking
just on your
Florence
left and
Pugh.
just breaks the thing.
Yeah. Um yeah, and then they get out and there's a cool little scene where the military is surrounding them and they have like Sentry ends up sacrificing himself. so everyone can get out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we get some cool fight scenes when she's fighting in the fog. Dude, I thought she was gonna like shoot once or twice at John Walker and him be like, "Hey, it's me."
Yeah, she
Dumped
unloaded
a
a whole
mag, dumped
magazine.
a
She
mag into
unloaded
that
it, and
dude.
he's just like, "Hey, stop." Um,
Yeah.
Throughout those scenes though, or this whole thing of them trying to escape, there are scenes where Bob touches someone else. Like first he touches Yelena, and we get this little flashback of her first mission in the Red Room, where she had to lure one of her childhood friends out into the woods in order to have like some guy show up and just shoot her.
Hmm.
And that was like her first test, and she only saw that when she touched Bob. And then John Walker, when he touched Bob, saw I guess like the last time, like he's sort of just like not paying attention to his newborn child while his wife's like calling out to
Hmm.
him. And he's just like on his
Hmm.
phone reading about like the fall of a tragic year or whatever for John Walker.
Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest. The baby is in its crib, and he is sitting right next to the crib. He's just reading an article on his phone. She's like, "You never pay attention to him." I was like, "Okay, relax a little bit. He's right
I
fucking
will
there."
say, out of everyone on the team, he's the one who had like the biggest fall from grace. He was the most important
Oh yeah,
person in the country, and then he
for
went
like a day.
for like, yeah, 2 days, and then he like went to hobo status.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, you get these little glimpses of like what his power does, and it's not super clear. Um, and then yeah, they get out. Bob sacrifices himself. They kind of are so you then find out pretty soon after this that Valentina is the one that bought Avengers Tower. And
Which is
um
so like, I don't want to say dissatisfying, but out of all the theories people have
it
ever
is so
had,
disfat
like
dude.
everyone
Yep.
had theories. There's
I
like, oh, it's gonna be Fisk Tower, it's gonna be the Fantastic Four, it's gonna be all this
yep.
stuff, and then Valentina just bought it
I
as like
just
her
thought
upgrade.
back to like Far From Home when they showed
Mm-hmm.
that scene and it was like somebody bought it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching so many videos about like who bought Avengers Tower, who's it gonna be. And like I like Valentina, she's a cool character. It works in the movie, but it is kind of like I wish it was a little cooler.
Well, I mean,
Um
the end of the movie now it makes sense why.
yeah.
Because now what?
Um
Yeah.
yeah,
But we'll get to that one.
which we'll get
Yeah.
to. Yeah, yeah.
So, also just a little fun fact that Alexi is a limo driver, and he hears that
Oh, yep.
Elena's in trouble, so he heads over to where they are, and he picks up the three of them, Ghost, John, and Yelena, and they're just driving back. It's so funny when he's showing up and he's just honking the horn, and you just see Elena like ducking down.
Mhm.
She's like, "No, it's
Mhm.
nobody. Just let him go."
He's like, "Hey." He's like, "Don't go in there. It's a trap."
Elena, it's a trap. And then they
um
get under attack, and just it's so funny that he's John's using a shield. And he's like, "I thought you said it was bulletproof." And he's like, "Partially bulletproof. Everybody's a critic today."
Yep. And then dude, when she shoots her pistol one time at one of the vans and
And
it
it just
explodes.
blows up. I thought for sure she was gonna like look at her pistol, and everyone was gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, for a second, me too, dude. I was like, "Holy shit, that's a strong fucking gun."
Yeah, and then
Um,
it turns out to
yeah,
just
and
be
then
our boy.
it turns out to be Bucky, our boy Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
So he is back and he is fighting, and what's it called? Yeah, he does some pretty sick shit.
Yeah.
He even ends up blowing up their limo because he doesn't know who the fuck these people are.
Oh no, I think he
Um,
knew who they were. I think he wanted to capture them, so he's just like.
oh yeah, that's right. He was
I
arresting them.
love the way that it shows John go like, "Yay, Bucky! Yeah!" Then Bucky shoots the grenade thing or whatever. It launches the car, and he just goes, "Oh shit!"
um, yeah. And like we said though, there are some like just great character moments
Hmm.
in during these scenes. Just the comedy. This is one of the funniest
This was
uh
really funny.
Marvel movies in a
Yeah.
while. Like everybody was cracking jokes. Everybody was hitting. Red Guardian was
Hmm.
awesome. John Walker was awesome. Even Yelena had some good moments. Bucky had some good ones. Ghost is just her normal like emo self.
Yeah, just
Um,
Ghost wasn't a character. She had no development whatsoever. And again, there's like a whole scene where like Yelena just shits on everyone. She goes, "You're a bitch. You're a terrible dad. You aren't even with your family. You're like, why your wife and kids hate you." And
yeah,
then like just nothing happens from that. Like then they're like,
yeah,
"Okay, we're back, bestie."
yeah. Um, where did they go after that? I forgot.
They were
Once
going.
Bucky gets
Well,
they're
Bucky
in the
captures that. Yeah,
warehouse.
Bucky has them tied up in a
Yeah.
warehouse, and he's just like, "I'm going to use you guys as evidence to impeach Valentina," while Valentina is talking to Bob,
Uh
because she finds out Bob's the only survivor of the Sentry project,
yeah. Which is
which
basically to just make the strongest thing ever.
yeah, it was like a power of 1,000 suns, all this stuff. But then, like, of course, like the worst candidate like survived.
Yeah, he's like a heroin addict, like
Meth. He
sign
said meth.
flipper.
He did meth.
Yeah, meth. Yeah,
He did
he
meth.
like actually
Yeah.
there's like yeah, and yeah, so you're just kind of seeing these parallel things happen and they're like Bob, we have to stop Bob and Sentry and blah blah blah. And then Bucky answers the phone. He's like, Sentry, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Sentry Bob.
Bob, yep, yep. And they're like, see?
Yeah.
So they all team up together to go stop him and they go to Avengers Tower. I like that little fight scene in the lobby
Oh yeah, where
of
they just show
Avengers
up and
Tower and yeah,
yeah.
and then she's like, I left the door unlocked. Y'all did not
Y'all did
have to
not need to
crash
do all
through the
that.
front. Yeah.
Well, they just go
Um
in and it's literally just them beating the crap out of these soldiers.
yeah. And they like drive into it with like a truck
Hmm.
and like destroy the front.
And so they go upstairs or they whatever, they take the elevator, and I think this is where like my problems with the movie sort of start. Or it's
Uh-huh.
like a little after the scene, because then okay, so Valentina's like kind of just roasting them. Um and then it's funny that nobody knows who Red Guardian is.
Yeah.
Like it's just consistent, like nobody just knows who the fuck this guy is. So she's like, who's
Yeah.
Fat Santa over there or whatever. He's like Red
Yeah.
Guardian. And she's like, what?
Yeah. Um but yeah, she's just talking shit and then Sentry comes in. He has his like classic look, yellow, blonde.
Hmm.
Um
It looked really good. Like
and
the suit and
I
him,
thought
like
he looked
everything
really
looked
good.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was gonna look really bad, but they
Uh-huh.
made it look really good in my opinion.
Yeah, and then
Um
she wants
he
him to be
just
like,
cooks them.
well, yeah, because she's like he's as powerful. He's like more powerful than all the Avengers combined. Um,
Uh
yeah, whatever that he's gonna be Earth's mightiest hero. So his first thing is to take down these criminals, and like yeah, he just takes them
and
out with ease.
dude, he beats the shit out of them.
Hmm.
It's actually insane how hard. There's a part where like he pushes Red Guardian out
Oh,
of
the
the window.
window.
He's sitting there for a second, starts to fall. He goes back, catches him, and throws him into a
Well, he
wall.
has like telekinesis, so he literally throws him out,
Oh yeah,
then throws him back inside,
yeah.
and then
Um,
he bends John Walker's shield like a taco.
yep. And then make a joke
Which
that it looks like a taco.
there's that was I it was something I was just interested in. Like it didn't really need to be addressed, but it was like what made me even more upset about it is that they started talking about what each of them could do in their weapons. Like you see Elena talk about her widow stings. Then John takes out his
Uh,
pistol and he's like, "Oh, it's a long pistol, whatever." And then I thought they were gonna mention the shield, and I thought he'd be like, "Oh, Val was able to get me some adamantium or something, like
yeah.
something crazy." And then she goes, "That's a nice hat you have there." I was like, I went, "Fuck, bro, come on." I was like,
Just and killed my boner. Okay.
yeah, I was like,
I don't
"Oh,
know.
okay,
They just
let's."
use that moment. They just use that moment to make a dick joke.
Yeah,
That's really all they do in that whole scene.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. And then they kept calling it a
They're
hat, and
like,
it was kind
your
of like,
long and hard pistol.
and they kept pissing me off calling it a hat. I was like, it's clearly a fucking helmet. Like, fuck off. I was like, your dad has the same one. Like,
I know every time Red Guardian puts on his helmet too, it looks so fucking stupid, bro. It's like doesn't fit right. It's like all angled
yeah,
down, like um but yeah, they just all get slept. Uh, he disrespectfully rips Bucky's arm
Oh,
off
I
and
thought
hits him
Bucky was
with
gonna
it.
say I can do this all day because he like took off his jacket and he like got like in a fighting pose. So I thought he was gonna hit
Yeah,
the I can do this all day, and then it just goes like to show his punches don't do shit.
yeah.
I was like, damn.
Um, and then yeah, they rendezvous downstairs. So Sentry doesn't end up killing him, and Valentina's like, "Why?" He's like, "They're not strong enough to
Yeah, they
beat
pose
me.
no
Like, I'm
threat,
not just
so
gonna kill
why?
him."
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and this is when we see kind of like the dark side of it kind of start to come out a little
Mm-hmm.
more. And it lost me so quick because I thought that was so interesting that he was like this really strong character who would kill people, but not people that pose a threat to him or that he feels don't pose a
Yeah.
threat to him. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Maybe she's like, because the whole time Valentina is just manipulating things, and you see it time and
Mm-hmm.
time again. And I was like, okay, how is she gonna get in his head to make him want to start hurting people? And he just does it on his own. He just
Yeah,
becomes void.
I thought she was gonna bring the void out. Like I thought she was like she was gonna know that he was trying to suppress it and that she would know about it.
Yeah,
So she was gonna like
yeah.
do something to bring it out. But like it seemed to just catch everyone by surprise. Again, it was super cool. It's literally just a shadowed version of him and just the yellow
With like these
eyes.
cool eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was so cool. And then I don't know. I knew that they're like Yelena was gonna go into his mind somehow. I wish the shadows was killing people and like
Or that
sh-
it would have been a little more like suspenseful when they did get caught.
yeah,
Because he starts destroying the city and helicopters are crashing and debris is falling and they're saving all these people. And they have a really, really great moment where they flip that concrete and John
yeah.
Walker's holding it up by himself at first.
And then you just see
So
one by
fucking
one.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, great, great scene. And that's where you see the little girl get zapped.
well, yeah. They each have like a
And
moment where they save people. Like Red Guardian like
yeah,
lifts a concrete wall so he can protect people. Yelena
yeah,
grabs a woman that's about to get hit after doing like a little tag team with Red Guardian.
Ready Guardian.
Bucky hits the
Hmm.
car. Ghost pushes someone out the way so she can take the blow of the helicopter explosion.
Yeah.
Um.
It's they have like these really great moments, and then Void starts doing the shadow thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sending people to the he's like down there himself personally sending people to the shadow realm. And I'm like, okay, they just killed a kid. That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then everyone starts running, and instead of Yelena running, she sits there, and she's like kind of had this like relationship with Ben, like they talked a little bit. um
I don't like. There's no way she knew that like it would take her to the nightmare world or whatever the fuck. Like I don't know. Like what if that failed? Like I don't know what
I
the
don't
plan
know.
was. She was just walking into
Yeah,
it. It's not like she
yeah,
knew or anything.
yeah. I wish there would have been like a moment where maybe the dots connect a
Mm-hmm.
little bit as they're running, or like one of them does get caught.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Ghost gets caught at first, and it's like, oh my god, they just fucking killed Ghost. And then
Yeah.
maybe after that they slowly start getting taken, because it was just so quick. And right, I mean, Florence Pugh is the main character of this movie. Right when she gets taken, it's like, yeah, just like
Yeah.
we're fine.
Um. Another thing. So I keep reiterating this, but the whole theme of the movie is depression, all this sadness. My issue with it is we've seen Florence Pugh's Yelena after knowing Black Widow's dead in Hawkeye,
Hmm.
and you are not telling me that's the same person.
Yeah.
I get it. Depression, sadness hits everyone at a different point, but like I feel like at the time she should really feel like she's alone at the most is right when she finds out her sister's dead and like
Hmm.
her dad didn't talk to her. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get revenge on my sister's killer, who she thinks at the time is Clint Barton Hawkeye. But then, like, you're not gonna tell me that that person is the same person that's going like, mac and cheese with Haley Steinfeld. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah.
just like hard to believe, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of weird to see like the total 180 of her character. Like, if this was the first
Hmm.
thing to come out since Black Widow, and it's been like she's been depressed for like the whole year or whatever it's been since she found out Black
Yeah,
Widow's been dead.
would
Sure,
100% make sense.
but like since we've seen her be jokey, a jokey goof, whatever, it was kind of a little hard to wrap my head around it. Again, I know like it
Yeah,
happens at random points, but she just it just kind of like I don't know.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. So
The only rebuttal I will say to you for that point, though, is that prior to this movie, she had Clint Barton to blame for Black Widow's death, and now she doesn't really have anybody to blame. So that could have made her spiral a little more.
I
That's really the only rebuttal I have, but now she doesn't really have like a source of like blame and outlet and
I
something to like
guess, but wouldn't that
target
make
it,
her like just
you know?
angrier? Because now she knows who to point her anger. Like I don't know. It just to be honest, her whole character in Hawkeye is kind of just like to me because of her whole jokey whatever with like Kate
Yeah.
Bishop, which I get, but then it's like if she's just there for revenge, like you don't have to make her be serious the whole time she's in Hawkeye. But like
Yeah.
to have her whenever she's with Kate, she's just kind of like lackadaisical. Like I don't know, it was kind of just weird.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I get what you're
yeah.
saying though.
So yeah, so she's in the
Um,
nightmare thing and she's seeing the same
yeah.
nightmare in repeat. She tries stopping it, but it doesn't work. So then she just runs through a wall.
Hmm.
But like the first time she tried doing that, she hit a wall. But I guess she wasn't running fast enough or with enough momentum.
Yeah.
So then she falls into another nightmare, um, where then she starts seeing Bob in an attic. So she tries to get to him, and I guess she just at some point became like tried drinking her problems away, which I
Yeah.
don't understand that scene because then like she goes to see her like drunk self on the bathroom floor, and then her like drunk self starts attacking her and forces a bottle down her throat. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what the like I again I don't know. I just I've never been
I
through
think
this,
it's
so I don't
just
know
like
what it's supposed to mean.
I think it's just her dealing with the way that she tried to cope with
Yeah.
everything, which was alcohol, and just kind of having to like relive that. I'm sure she I mean, they don't say this outwardly, but what I'm assuming that scene is suggesting is that she doesn't drink anymore. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like, her body trying to go back to that kind of thing.
Was she not
Um,
drinking at Alexi's? I swear Alexi got her a
I don't
drink of
think
some
so.
kind. I don't know what it was, but
Was
it
she?
was in a glass cup too.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, I get what you're saying
um
now.
and like this is where a lot of the movie like I didn't love. Um it's creative, but it's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, and then
Like
it's like what we
go ahead.
talked about that it's kind of like wasted opportunity to not have like Bucky, John, Ghost, and Red Guardians like seeing
Well,
their.
yeah, so right after the drinking thing, she sees Bob in the attic. Parents are beating the shit out of him downstairs. And he's like talking or whatever. And then they kind of come up with a plan to try and stop the void. And the void just starts throwing all the furniture at him
It's
in
like
the room.
poltergeist in there.
Yeah. And then the rest of the Thunderbolts break through a wall
Mm-hmm.
or a few walls and start helping them. And again, all of them get like a one off line of like what they just experienced. They're just kind of like,
Not
oh,
even. I don't even
Bucky's like,
think.
oh, I was perfect.
I think
I'm
I don't even
good.
think like I think the only one that said anything was Bucky, just because everyone in the audience would know obviously that he's been through some shit.
Yeah.
I just it's
Yeah.
kind of like I don't know. The fact that they didn't do anything is kind of a waste in my mind. I get it. We've seen Bucky, all the trauma he's gone through 1,000 times, but I still, to this day, believe a top five MCU scene for me personally is a scene in Falcon the Winter Soldier when one of the Dora Milaje is like saying the code words, the homecoming, whatever, and you just see his emotion and him's crying, and it starts playing the Winter Soldier theme, and it's like it doesn't work on him, so he just breaks down in tears. I think that scene so
Mm-hmm.
well that to have like another shot of doing a scene somewhat similar to that and not doing it is kind of just like a waste in my eyes.
Well, and with a movie that's trying to get you to connect to all these, like this new team pretty much, and you're trying to focus on the trauma that each of them have gone through to get to this
Mm-hmm.
point, this is a great moment to show that trauma to
Especially,
the
yeah,
audience
especially because
and
there's
let
like,
us connect to.
yeah, there's like a scene when they're all four of them are like climbing the wall or whatever together. That Ghost says something about how she's what is experimented her whole life, and that the suit's the only thing keeping her alive. Even though I'm pretty sure she's not dealing with that problem anymore because of Janet after Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like Elena's like, "Oh, you do not want to have like a trauma comparison or whatever."
Yeah, like I would
I was
win.
a child assassin, and then John's like, "Well, at least you were a child," and she's like, "What is that supposed to mean?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't know any better. You were stupid," and she's like,
um, like, and we get a trauma scene for John Walker, and we get a trauma scene for Yelena. It just would have been nice to get a scene for Bucky and also get a scene to ground Red Guardian a little bit and give a
Yeah,
little more
especially
depth
Red
of
Guardian.
that
Like the two
character.
characters that needed the most were Red Guardian and Ghost. Ghost because we know only whatever we learned in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but nobody fucking remembers that movie. And Red
Yeah.
Guardian, we know little to nothing except that in
Mm-hmm.
his mind he was a huge hero to his country. But
Yeah.
like we learned in Black Widow that he lies. He lied about fighting Captain America in 1975.
Yeah.
So like it would have been nice to see something real and like how it really was. Maybe in reality he was hated.
Yeah.
So that would have been something interesting
Or,
to see.
seeing him cope with not
Well,
having that popularity and
yes.
what he went through,
Yeah.
and it would have been such a good thing to kind of mirror to, like, the wants and hopes of Yelena
Mm,
and kind of how that affected him, losing that. It
yeah.
just I feel like it was very, very missed opportunity.
Hmm.
Um
And also, I feel like we should the name how they got the Thunderbolts. It was from Yelena's
it's
Pee
a
Wee
whatever
soccer whatever. Which,
soccer team.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Um, so yeah, so they get Bob out, and this is kind of where I start to get confused because I know little to nothing about Sentry or the Void. I've never
Mm.
like read any of his comics personally. I've seen him in other stuff. Bob comes out and he's just normal Bob, like in his normal clothes, normal hair. I'm like,
I know that shit fucking
I was
sucks,
like so
bro.
confused, and I was like, so Sentry just like so he has three personalities: Bob, Sentry, Void.
Yeah,
Like, and what? Just every time he wants to be one, it changes him like Shazam. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I
I
don't
will
understand.
well, real quick though, before we jump to after the fight, we
Mm.
do have the ending of the fight where
Oh
we have
yeah.
them all come together and Void kicks the shit out of all of them, and then Bob just starts throwing straight hands with Void
I'm gonna
and
be
starts beating
honest.
the shit out of him.
That fight was the biggest boner killer of the whole movie because the way it was set up. I don't know if you ever saw the Crisis of Infinite Earths.
Yeah, the
And
animated
no, not the animated one, but
or the
the
DC
CW
crossover.
one. The
Yeah, yeah,
there's and have you seen the one of the two Supermen fighting?
yeah,
That's what I thought it was gonna be because Bob's like, "I'm gonna stop you," and then the Void's like, oh, "I'd like to see you try." So I thought they were gonna like fly at each other and then like have a whole fight, and then it ends
yeah.
back. Instead,
It's
Bob
literally Bob sitting there. He's like,
instead Bob just goes,
yeah.
"I'm gonna
This
get
is a
you."
fucking.
I go.
This,
I looked at my friend. I go, "Oh hell no!"
yeah, it was so corny. And then
But the Void,
the whole time though, the Void
yeah,
wants
wants
Bob to be
Bob to let him
beating
his
the shit
anger
out of
out or
him.
whatever. Yeah.
And so the Thunderbolts all break out. We do get a very cool scene of Yelena like flipping over shit, and she fucking
Hmm.
they do some cool
I
shit
feel
there.
like
And
I because everyone else was held like extremely well except John and Ghost. Ghost,
I
I
know
feel like
John
should
just
have
had a
gone.
stick in his shoulder.
John, and he's trying to take it out, but I guess he just couldn't or whatever. And then like Ghost can't use her powers. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, they all hold him back in power of friendship. He overcomes the void, and
Mm-hmm.
New York turns back to normal. Um, and they see Valena or Valentina on the street, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you. We got a word to
Mm-hmm.
have with you." And then she walks around a corner, and there are a ton of photographers and journalists, and she's like, I planned this whole thing by secretly putting in Avengers together. These are the new Avengers.
Yeah. Well,
And
the funny part about that scene is I whisper I like just like whisper I go when she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna reveal this my new team," and before she says, I go, "The new Avengers." Woo! And then she goes,
yeah.
"The new Avengers." I go, "No way." I thought she was gonna say
Yeah.
Thunderbolts 1000%, but
Yeah. No, they are now the new Avengers. So
mm-hmm.
this is our MCU new Avengers lineup with John Walker, Ghost, Yelena, Red Guardian, and Bob. Not even Sentry. I'm not even
Bucky
giving him that respect.
and
Bob
Bucky.
and Bucky. Yeah.
Um, it's I don't
And
it's I don't know because Bucky's technically already an Avenger. No,
I don't think so. I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Winter Soldier was ever an Avenger.
But he's helped them. He's got to be Avengers adjacent. Like he's got to be something. It's
Yeah.
whenever they talked about Avengers in this movie, it's always like awkward because I it's always awkward whenever they talk about like, oh, we're the Avengers with someone who's helped the Avengers because like
Yeah.
you're here. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you did as much as them.
Yeah.
So they're just like, oh,
Honestly,
we have no heroes, no Avengers, and Bucky's just like, what are we gonna do?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I wish this concept of the Avengers got set up better in Brave New World, and it was almost like we feel like we snaked Sam Wilson, you know what I'm saying? Because they hint to it in the
Mm-hmm.
post-credit scene that Sam Wilson is mad they took the name Avengers and is
Yeah.
copywriting them, and they're in a fucking lawsuit for the name Avengers.
Well, it's
Um,
this is sort of what Ross wanted in Brave New World. He wanted Avengers under the government, which is what they
yeah,
have. So in
yeah,
I don't know as much in the comics, but I know in the TV show Avengers Assemble, something similar happens where the government gets an Avengers and it's like Red Hulk, Vision, Black
yeah,
Panther, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel. Um,
uh-huh,
and it's like the same thing that they end up having issues and beef with the regular Avengers. So I assume that's what's
uh-huh,
gonna happen here, like what you were saying with the post credit scene, where it's like, oh, Sam Wilson's really upset at us guys, and it's like, oh, Bucky, can you go talk to him? You're like his best friend, and Bucky's like, I tried, it didn't work.
yeah,
So that's a conversation I would have loved to see, like
yeah.
someone that like, cause
Me too.
especially Bucky and Sam, because Bucky knows that Sam wants to rebuild the Avengers, wants to do all this, and to come to Sam and be like, hey, we started the new Avengers with all these criminals, and we all basically do the same
Yeah,
fucking shit, except one of us
and
can
we're not
walk
that
through walls.
strong.
Yeah, it took five of us to lift one wall. Like we're kind of just near there.
We're
So
kind of just a title right now.
yeah, so that would have been something interesting to see. Well, before that post credit scene, there was a little funny one where Alexi's just kind of in a grocery store and he's trying to get someone to buy a Wheaties
Mm.
box of the new Avengers. The lady takes it and you just see her put it back and she leaves.
Put it back down. Yeah, that was fire. That was fire. That was a good little post
um,
credit scene.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
on to
what are your thoughts? Without saying anything, real quick, what are your thoughts on the second post credit scene? Because I've been hearing how crazy it was, and I'm gonna be honest, just like this
underwhelmed,
movie, overhyped as hell. And
overhyped as fuck.
to be honest, it kind of made me a little upset.
Same, same.
So
Let's go into it. If you don't know
yeah,
the second post credit scene and you have watched up to this video, I recommend you don't watch this just to get the full frustration out for
yeah,
yourself.
and you can
Um,
tell us what you guys thought of it. But
yeah.
so it
But
starts
going right
off.
into it,
Yeah, it starts off like what we said with them talking about how Sam is getting upset that they're starting the new Avengers. He's suing them for
this
copyright.
and real quick too, this is also 14 months later. So they
Yes.
have been a team for a little over a year
Yeah.
now.
So they're all in their new Avengers headquarters. They all got Avengers gear. John Walker now wears a hat.
Which did you notice his shield was still the
It's
fucking
still a
taco?
fucking taco. You're telling me, bro, never you have three super soldiers on the team. You're telling me none of you can just all grab a side and just start like doing something?
Or they couldn't get the funding from the government to get him a new fucking
Yeah, or just
shield,
like, get a
bro.
new shield. Like, I don't understand this. And he's just like holding the taco still. I don't think, okay, we're just kind of down in the dumps here. Um,
Yeah, for real.
so yeah, now he wears like a beret or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're talking about how Sam's upset, and then we see Alexi wearing like a bunch of sponsors. He's wearing
Mm.
like what a NASCAR F1 driver wears, like in the
Yeah,
jumpsuits.
but it says New
But it says
Avengers
New
with a Z.
Avengers. He's like, I solved our issues, guys. New Avengers.
And then we see that Bob is now Team Bitch and
Oh,
just
he's
does
just sitting in a
the house
chair. Yeah, he's
chores
just like, guys, I can't. So you're in 14 months, he never let Sentry out or whatever. I don't even like.
or tried to test it or they didn't kick his ass out, bro.
Yeah,
Like, he's literally a maid. He literally has a line. He goes,
he
"I
said I
did the
did the
dishes
dishes.
today."
I did the dishes. Yeah. So
But yeah, go ahead.
so then they start hearing stuff that there's stuff going on in outer space, but they're not being told because they're basically just like the like second string team. Like they're kind of like backup.
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah,
called the new Avengers. They're not called the Avengers. They're the new Avengers.
yeah.
Um,
They're the B team.
yeah. So it's like while Sam's getting the actual A team ready for whatever was happening in space, they have to wait for orders too. Like
Yeah,
they're literally just the government's like lapdogs, which is exactly what the
yeah,
Avengers is supposed to not be. So that'll be an
yeah.
interesting thing to see in Doomsday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they start hearing about how a quantum something space something other,
Interdim-
yeah,
interdimensional.
something other opens up, and we see a spaceship, and the ship looks oddly familiar, and there's very familiar music playing, and then the ship turns over, and Casey, what's the symbol on the ship?
The Four, the Fantastic Four. Woo!
Okay, so
Yay! We get to see
first off,
them.
having this all the way at the end of the movie, I get it's a post end credit whatever. In the end credits, I literally just noticed because I was like looking at like the songs or whatever, and it said one of the themes played was Avengers theme. I go, oh, that was the Avengers theme they played. I didn't even notice or whatever. And then underneath, Fantastic Four theme. I go, that's a little weird. I was like,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, immediately when I even saw the ship, I was like, "Oh, it's the
oh yeah, when I saw
Fantastic
the ship,
Four."
I immediately knew which ship it was because literally before
Yeah.
the movie starts, the last thing that played was a Fantastic Four trailer. So I
Yep.
literally got a good
Yep.
shot of the ship 2 hours before.
Yep. Right before the movie. Yep.
So
It's just. Go
my
ahead. I'll let you
yeah,
go.
my main issue is we now know how Fantastic Four ends,
We
and
know how they get to our dimension, at the
yes,
very
we know
least.
when they get to our dimension. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, everyone's number one theory for what's going to happen in Fantastic Four is their universe gets destroyed by Galactus or their planet. So then they go into another universe. That was everyone's theory.
You don't have to tell
You
me.
don't
You
have to
don't have to
tell
tell
us that we were
me. Let
right.
me go see the
Yes.
movie. Let me go see the fucking
Yeah,
movie.
I get what they're doing. They're trying to build hype for Fantastic Four and Doomsday. The thing is, and what I was kind of hoping for, by how much people were hyping up this fucking thing, I thought we were gonna see a green cape or something.
Dude, I was ready for like Monica to fly through that fucking space
Oh yeah,
panel
that would have been.
and come back with the X-Men ship or
Hmm.
some shit. And I was like, that would have been
Yeah,
fucking sick because we
anything.
know they're gonna be in Doomsday, and it would be cool to see like their ship or see that
Hmm.
she somehow got them
Or
back,
just see
and we can
Monica. Just see
explore that
Monica, and
more.
then she's just like, guys, do I have something to tell you? And then
Yeah, she's like, dude, I was so ready for it to be like Monica in the pilot's seat and we go out and it's like the X fighter jet or
mhm.
whatever and
I
it's
thought
like,
we were gonna
oh
see like
hell yeah.
I thought when they're saying there's something going on in space, I thought we were gonna see a giant ship and you're just gonna see someone standing at the helm of it and all you saw was a green cape. You know,
I thought it was either going to be X-Men or Doctor Doom.
I
I
like
was
yeah, because I was like,
completely
why would the
convinced.
fuck they would show like it's just so random to show Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Like that's such a
And
random fucking thing to do before the movie comes
it
3
shows
months
us
before the movie
yeah,
comes out.
yeah, it shows us exactly how the Fantastic Four get there, and it shows us. Oh, it doesn't directly confirm, but it pretty much confirms what everybody has been thinking that their Earth gets destroyed and they get out of there, whether it's to
Yeah,
save their world or to ditch it, we don't know. But it's a weird thing to do.
it's
I
just
think
so
it's
I don't
so
understand.
so
It's the same thing
strange
with
to
when they
spoil
did
it.
the whole chair thing and they showed the whole cast of the Thunderbolts being in Doomsday. It's like, well, now I know
Hmm.
no one dies, so there's no stakes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
yeah, I don't know why they did that. It was
Which, to
cool
be
to see their ship,
honest,
I guess, but
yeah. Which, to be honest, it's not like this movie did really many fake out deaths. I guess Yelena, but that was like for like 2 minutes. So I guess like
yeah,
that's kind of why. Like, it was never there's never a moment where you saw like ghosts falling off a building or something.
yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
But just like, I don't know, it was such a
It
weird
doesn't matter.
choice. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
I just
It's cool. It was cool. It was cool to see how the new Avengers are living. It was cool to see them talk about how Sam feels about the new Avengers, because that's like what Casey said, makes the MCU feel more of a universe and feel connected, which I feel like it hasn't for some time now. Um,
mhm.
so that was really cool to see. And then it was definitely cool to see the Fantastic Four ship flying and just see the big four in our universe. It's just what that scene means is kind of what's upsetting us.
And it's like you have me, and then we get to the punchline, and it's like, oh, you fucking lost me. And this movie
Yeah.
does that over and over again. It's like same thing with Sentry and Void. You have me, you have me, you have me, and then we get to that point, and it's like you kind of. It's not like bad, but it's like I know it can be better.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially the
and
way
that's
that it's
why
been
this movie is
overhyped. Like this,
yeah.
like
Finn
it's
gave this shit 5 stars, bro. I was ready for some gas.
it was the way that it's been talked about, that like everyone's been saying like, oh, the MCU's best movie since Endgame, um, uh, like all this stuff, how it's gonna be great. Uh, there's like content creators that have watched it 3 times. The movie officially came out today, and someone's already seen it 3 times. Like, what?
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
I don't know. And then so yeah, so we find out that the asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts was really because that's just a save name, and the name of the movie is the New Avengers.
Mhm.
I guess this is the shittiest lineup for Avengers. Somehow the old somehow the
They're so
Avengers
cooked.
somehow Sam Wilson's
None of
Avengers
them
just
can
by
even
himself
fly.
was apparently better.
Yeah, none of them can even fly, bro. All
I
in all,
don't.
though, it's a good movie. Go check it out. Go support
Yeah, it's definitely a
Thunderbolts.
good movie,
Um,
and it's definitely a like a break from what we've definitely gone in the past of the
yeah.
MCU. Um, also,
I just felt. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I just felt this movie was so serviceable, and like I said at the beginning of this video, there was nothing that wowed me,
Mhm.
that had me like absolutely mind blown, feeling insane. I was just like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
cool.
don't want to say they played it safe, because I definitely feel like dealing with depression and all that stuff in any sort of way is definitely not playing it
100%.
safe. But like, I feel like in the grand scheme of it, it was very safe. Um,
Hmm.
the scene with the scene where you go through Bob's memories and you go through different parts of his memories, and they're just kind of like punching whoever's like in their way. Like in the first one, it was his dad, and John just smacks him with a shield. And then it's
Yeah.
like the evil. It's then it's Bob in the chicken costume beating people with a sign. And
Yeah. I was
Alexi,
on meth.
yeah, Alexi goes up to him. He's like, "If you hit me one more time," and just gets smacked. And then Bucky just decks a
Yeah.
chicken in the face.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. No, I mean there's so much good stuff in this movie.
mhm.
Like it really is worth it. Yeah, I liked it. I
Yeah.
thought it was good.
I thought a scene that was cool was when they are fighting, the four of them in the big room or whatever. Ghost, Taskmaster, John, and Yelena. Yelena
Hmm.
throws a knife at Ghost. Ghost throws a knife at Taskmaster. Taskmaster
Yes.
deflects a knife, and then John just catches it and he goes, "Okay," and tries to stab Yelena.
Yeah. So good. Oh my goodness. That whole fight scene, dude. And
It
when
was,
they're like
yeah.
again just beating the shit out of the guards in the fucking lobby and they're just bouncing off each other and so fire.
There's like moments like that John Walker's definitely like tweaking or something, because like after he like hit Taskmaster, he's like, and then he's like psyching himself up to go fight those guards or whatever. He's like, and then just charges in.
Dude,
I
he
just
is a
love the way
tweaker.
that he talks though,
I
because
love him.
he's just so funny when he's just like, "No, they're here to save me, guys," and you just tie yourselves up.
Yeah, John Walker is probably my favorite character in this movie. I
I
think
He
they
was the
did
one.
such a good
Yeah,
job
he was
with
the one
him.
I was so excited for, because I love. He was definitely like one of the best parts in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like if they made him be the villain of the show, I guess, instead of the Flag Smashers, that show would have been so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know it's cool to just see how they address like how his mistakes have affected him up to this point. Like they're literally like, you fucked a
You
guy up with a
fucking
shield.
yeah, I love how they talk about it. They're like, you had a public execution with your shield and in front of everyone on an innocent man. He's like, define innocent.
um, yeah. Uh, all in all, though, solid movie. I'd say we approve.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, if you made it to this point in the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll have this video going up pretty soon. Sorry for the lack of uploads from us recently. We are both students and it has been a very busy
Hmm.
few weeks. So, summer though should be a lot more consistent. We have a ton of stuff saved up for you guys though, and we are excited to get it out. So do be on the lookout for a lot more Daredevil. Um, and I think with that being said, we'll see y'all in the next video.
See ya.